We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.
We definitely feel we're trapped.
We had co-signed on student loans so she could become an RN, which she did. When she died as co-signers, all the loans were transferred to us. She had borrowed almost $100,000. And in the last 4.5 years, that's turned into $200,000. Our credit's been ruined because we can't keep up with the increases in these loans. We've spent our retirement trying to stay current.
Welcome back. Motivational speaker DeVon Franklin is joining us today. And right now we're talking with Steve and Darnell Mason, who have taken over $200,000 in student loans following the sudden death of their 27-year-old daughter 4 years ago. And in addition to that, you have adopted now these beautiful 3 grandchildren and are raising them to the best of your ability. And I commend you both.
Thank you.
Now, let me ask you all, what is the hardest part in all of this?
The irony is that we have 3 children now that we can't send to college because we can't get college loans. And the frustration for us, I think, is we've always had great credit. We've always paid our bills. And now we're trapped financially in a scenario that we didn't do frivolously. If I would have gone out and spent the money in unwise ways
I want to bookmark that, so I think it's important, but I want to go back to this because you talk about being trapped and financially, but it feels like it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
It feels like that trap is, I mean, what are you scared that you might lose, or what's at stake here?
Just lose, you know, being able to survive. You know, we are the providers of 3 young children. I mean, our overriding goal is to make a better life for them. They've lost so much.
You've lost so much.
Yeah.
So we...
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Sit with that. You've lost a lot. What's it really like?
I guess I would have to say that I don't want to stay in it, so I don't want to drown in it, because I literally believe I can't. I mean, if I didn't have 3 children to think of, maybe I would drown myself in it, but I can't, I don't allow myself to.
See, and that's what I worry about. I worry about that you are drowning and you may not realize it.
It's the denial.
Yeah,
It's the
because
denial,
see, what happens is if you don't go through something, then you're stuck in it.
Right.
And I wonder if you're stuck right now, because every time you get to that point, you go, nope, I have to be strong for the children. I have to be strong for my husband. I have to be strong for the congregation. I have to be strong. I can't fall apart, even though I don't have the answers. But heaven help me, I'm falling apart.
Yeah. Have you all had a chance to really grieve? Have you all had a chance to just go through the process?
I'm not sure. You know, I know the classic 7 stages of grieving, and I slip in and out of several of them, but you know, I don't know if there's a standard how long you stay in one stage, or so I'm not sure.
Let's just reframe this for a minute, because I want to hear from you again. I like the way that you talked about grief in that first segment. I think it was beautifully, and I'm sure you've ministered some people and counseled people on their own grief process, but right now we're dealing with yours.
Right.
And I know that's one of the problems that you've both had, is you spend so much time ministering to other people, and how do I have time for me at the end of the day? And that's what we want to know, is not what's working, because you have done incredible with what you've been able to do with these kids and with yourselves. But we know that there's part of it that's not working. Beyond the financial stress, I know that's the big one. But in that process, tell us what is really stuck and painful from your perception.
I think the thing I struggle with the most is probably frustration. Everything is so out of my control, and I'm really not a control freak, but not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing how long things are going to stay the way they are. I'm far enough removed from our daughter's death that the shock and the trauma is gone, but the scar's still there. Yeah. And scars never go away. They stop hurting as bad, and you get to a point of pain and it doesn't get any better, but it doesn't get any worse. And so I'm okay with that, but we've never been through this before. I've talked to a lot of people, that have been through trauma and death and loss and pain, and we have too. We've been married 35 years. I mean, we have argued before.
Right.
But not knowing, just like I don't know what to look for in our grandchildren, I don't know what to look for in me or in her.
You've done a great job. You made a life at helping people, and now we need to turn that around and give you some of the grace that you so graciously given to the people in front of you. And we want to help you do that because we know that the financial burden is real, and we know that counseling is expensive, especially good counseling costs money. And so we want to, I agree with both of you. I think you need to do this together, and you possibly need to do it as a family. You need to bring the kids in too. So Jody Frank and Cindy Busto of West Coast Counseling have graciously offered, and they work with the show all the time, to see you guys as a family, to see you through this process.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Would you be willing to accept this gift?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here and for telling your story.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
allowing us to
Okay.
come.
And there's more as soon as we come back, right after this. Coming up.
I have a roommate who has been single for nearly 7 years. Do you have any helpful tips for him?
Right, and I'm wondering if you're asking for your roommate or for yourself. We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.